Hello, good afternoon, good morning. How are you? I thought it would be fun to do just like a walkthrough of the Yosakoi makeup that I've been doing lately. I mean, I've been doing makeup for Yosakoi for so long and it's so fun. Like, it is such a fun way to just like be creative and try new things. And recently I feel like I've gotten a good hang of what I really like and something that looks really good on stage. And I've been doing it the same style for a few performances. And now I feel like I kind of have the hang of it. I can do it quickly and I can also do it in a way where it's gonna stay put. I love using like really grippy, sticky primer. I think I've had this for like 2 years. It is so thick and sticky. I think some people don't like it because of that. Honestly, on a day-to-day basis, I probably wouldn't use this because it does feel really like sticky on the skin. But for Yosakoi makeup, it is so perfect. It's exactly what I need. e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. There's also a green one that I think does not have the niacinamide in it. I think they feel the same. I'm gonna put my hair up in a ponytail because that is usually how I have my hair for Yosakoi. Lately I've been like slicking it back with gel just to make sure everything's really tight in there, but it's too much for today. And I'm a lot paler right now than normal. I'm using the DIOR Forever Skin Perfect in 1.5N. I have no idea what my undertones are. Like, I don't know if I'm cool toned or the warm tone or whatever, but I just find that if I go with neutral colors, so like the N in this stands for neutral. I don't know if someone with like a cool undertone uses neutral, if that looks good on them or not. I don't know how that works, but anyway, maybe I'm neutral. Who knows? So I'm pretty liberal with this. Like, I just really go in hard. And actually one of the reasons I bought this foundation is I really like the finish on it, but I also really like that it's not liquid. Like, it really is just a stick of foundation, and that is just so nice for application. Like, I don't have to worry about the mess and things getting anywhere. That's like the most annoying part of foundation, right? Is like just how messy it is. But anyway, so I just put that on. I kind of put that everywhere. And what I like about the primer that I use is that it really just like will hold on to anything you put on top. And like, I think it maybe stops the foundation from kind of sinking into the skin, which typically I think is what you do want with foundation, like on a day-to-day. But for something like this, I feel like it just helps kind of like really lay down the color and keep everything well covered. So I just put foundation everywhere. I'm just trying to basically create like a uniform color and canvas, and then I'll go and put everything else on top. I think normally when I'm putting on foundation for just day-to-day, I don't put that much. I tend to just cover certain areas or just put like a little bit where I feel like I need it. Whereas for something like this, it really is about creating like a canvas, okay, for the creativity to go on. Then I use like a really light concealer. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and the shade is Fair Beige. I think this is again listed as neutral on the website. I have bought this same concealer a few times because I just think it is great. It does the job. This one in particular is a little bit pale for day-to-day. Like, I think if I wore this, I would look a little too washed out, but for dance, because I'm really trying to create like these lightened areas and really create contrast, it works really, really well. I am currently not the owner of a blush, except for this one from Glossier. It's the Cloud Paint in Haze, and like, just look at that color. Okay, I really don't know what possessed me to buy this. I don't think it's the right color for me, to be honest, but I have it and it's my only blush, so I am going to use it when I do my makeup. However, I think that I am in the market for more of like a peachy, gentle coral blush for everyday use. This is a little bit much, but for dance, it's actually great because I can, like, you know, really make an impact with the color. Then I put on powder. So powder is very important for dance to make sure that we're not, you know, sweating off the makeup, that everything is locked in tight. This is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I have had this exact tub for 2 years, and I feel like I've used like 10% of it, and I use it almost every day. Like, I use this every day to set my concealer, or whenever I wear makeup I use it to set. And for dance especially, you just have to make sure everything's like locked in, you know, and not going anywhere. I'm using the NARS Laguna bronzer. This I have also owned for this exact one. I think I've had this for 2 years at least. Actually, I might have had this for 3 years. I think this is like one of their most popular, most famous items, and for good reason. It's just so easy to use. It's not, I think this would be considered like a satin finish. Like, it's not shimmery, but it's not completely matte either, so it's just nice for anything. And honestly, guys, does anybody know how to use bronzer? I literally don't. I just use this to basically contour. I don't really know how to contour. I feel like it always ends up looking kind of gray, or just too like too I guess too dramatic on my skin. Like, it's too harsh. That's the word, harsh. It looks too harsh. So all I really do is just like basically use this bronzer as a contour. Just basically tap it onto the areas of my face that I want to be a little bit darker, but I don't try to like chisel anything, you know, like with like darker contour, I think you can go in and like really like chisel out the jawbone, or like chisel out your nose. I honestly, I've given up trying to learn how to do that, and I just use this to like kind of add some more depth to certain areas. So I'll put some on my nose too, and then a little bit around my mouth so that it's not super pale. Okay, then from Rare Beauty, Mesmerize Liquid Luminizer. I love this stuff. I usually actually mix this into my foundation or something like on the day-to-day just to give more of a glow, but I'm just gonna put a little bit on as highlighter just so things are not too matte. I know that you're really supposed to put like powder on top of liquid and not the other way around, but I don't know. I just like how this looks on top of everything, so I put that on. That is pretty much, I think, everything I do for face. Okay, I know I just said I don't contour, and I don't, but I do just do like a tiny little bit of contouring around the nose as I'm doing my eyes. So this is from ColourPop, and it is the Going Coconuts palette. I don't put anything on the actual lid, and I bring it like all in this area, and then I bring it down, and then I do not put anything else here or here. So like, I'm leaving this whole section empty, and I'm just kind of putting it in the top and inner corner of the eye. Do you see that? And then the actual lid in this area is open for business, okay? There's other things that are gonna happen there. I used to never put eyeshadow under my eye. I think because I thought it looked too harsh, but actually if you don't do that, I think it really ruins the balance and makes it almost like makes this whole area look so washed out because there's no dimension happening at the top. So anyway, I now put eyeshadow under my eye. I just put like the same mix of the browns underneath. Okay, and then I also extend it. So basically the line of my lower lash line, I just like extend that up a little bit. It's like mostly neutral colors so far, and this is just sort of taking the shapes that already exist on my face, but just making them more pronounced, more distinctive. Then I use like a little bit less eyeshadow, like just a touch. And I just put like a little bit around my nose. And I think the key here is that the color of the Laguna bronzer and the colors that I'm using now are really similar. Like they're neutrally browns, so they don't look too aggressive on the face. And then like by using the same colors kind of everywhere, I think that just helps everything look a little bit more uniform and gentle. Then I'm gonna keep using the same palette, and I'm gonna just use powder for my brows. So I'm not gonna do too much. I'm just gonna like fill in the shape that's already there and extend it a little bit. On stage, you can easily get washed out if there are lights, and so you kind of just have to make everything darker. Like a ton of makeup in normal life does not look like that much on stage. So I just basically try to keep the same shape that I already have and just fill in certain areas so that the eyebrows are a little bit more pronounced. Then I use an eyebrow gel, and I put that basically all throughout the brows. Like that just helps them stay in place. But what I really like about this gel is it coats the brows in a color and makes them look like really natural and fluffy and fun. I don't know what it is. I've tried so many brow gels, and I don't really need the gel to like lock my brows in a certain position, but I do think that this does a really good job of just holding them in the place that I want them to be. This is a heavy rotation coloring eyebrow. I have this in a couple colors. I've been using this for like 10 years. I first bought it when I lived in Japan, and I just really liked how it made my brows look, and I still use it now. Luckily now I can find it in Canada. There's a couple stores that sell it. For the eyes, I then put a neutral, this new middle one, I put that in the middle of the lid. So I put that here. I don't bring it any further up, like I keep it just on the lid itself. And I love this color. Like it just looks so pretty. It's not too sparkly where there's like chunks of glitter, but it is really, really pretty and like shimmery. Then if I'm feeling, you know, funky, I'll go in with Shakoto, this like shimmery eyeshadow, and I just put that on top of the shimmer that's already there. It's so pretty. It doesn't look, I mean, I don't know if you can really see it that well from stage, but like it's just so pretty, and I love putting it on even if nobody can see it. And then I'll put a little bit of the same like shimmery color under the eye as well, but it doesn't need to be as concentrated. It's just to give like a little bit of dimension and excitement in that area. For the lashes, I will curl them. Have you ever tried to curl someone else's lashes, or someone else curled yours? It is like so uncomfortable and it doesn't work because you can't like get close up. It just doesn't work. It's very uncomfortable. I am gonna be wearing false lashes, but I still put on like this eyelash primer. It's the Voluminous Base from L'Oreal. I use this, you know, in my daily life if I'm gonna wear mascara, because I think it just gives your lashes a bit more volume before you actually put the mascara on, and helps them look really thick. I'm gonna pause now and put on setting spray. This is, oh my god, this is the Milani Make It Last Dewy. I think for actual performance, I wouldn't use a dewy setting spray. I would probably use a matte one. I really like the NYX one. I've tried the e.l.f. one of the e.l.f. ones, and I liked that. I like this one too. This is probably not good for performance because it's dewy, but it's great for every day. Like I feel like it helps keep the makeup looking really natural. Now we get to do the most Yosakoi part of the Yosakoi makeup, and I'm gonna put on color. So this is from ColourPop, Fade into Hue. I love this palette. I have used it for so long. It's just the most perfect palette for Yosakoi makeup. I've pretty much just been using the top 3 rows. I think they're like the most bright colors, but my favorite is the blues. There's something about blue eyeshadow that just like pops, you know, it looks so fun. The top 2 color, or sorry, the middle one and then the top one, there's something about this like baby blue. It looks darker on camera, but in real life it's more pale. Anyway, so I basically just take that on my finger and then I put it there. I put it right there. And then I just do that a few times. And it doesn't really matter how perfect the shape is. It really just has to fill that space between like that bottom line that we created and the top shadows that we added. And it goes on like the outside of the lid. So I'm not bringing it in at all. It literally is just like, it's almost like a thumbprint, like right on the end. I also wait to put on the mascara until after I do this, because just in case, you know, like there's powder falling out, like I don't want to coat my mascara in the eyeshadow. Oh, I love it. This is so fun. So you can imagine, you know, basically I just do this exact same thing, but I'll just like swap out the colors. I'm gonna put a little bit of this sparkle on it just for fun, but I don't always do that. I think actually the matte looks really cool by itself. That honestly, that blue is probably the most important part of the makeup. I think if you went on stage and just had that on, honestly, you know, the effect would be created. It would look good. Now, this is not something I do all the time, but I think this just really helps make the makeup look more Yosakoi and more intentional. I'm gonna use this from Sephora. This is the Colorful Shadow Stick and Liner. I actually think this is the only thing I own that's like the Sephora line, you know, the Sephora brand, and it's like kind of crumbling a bit because I left it in the car and it overheated and then it like kind of crumbled when I used it. So I just draw a line like right under that color that I added, and then I'm also mimicking like the line, the natural line of my eye. I basically tried to do like the same angle with the white. Then sometimes, I don't really know if I love how this looks yet, but I'll put some in the inner corner too. I'm not sold on this yet. I think it might look a little bit too harsh. Like maybe I need to add in more color here because this is now so bright, or like maybe I need to make this line thinner and like I would need a different product than this. But you know, you live and you learn. What I really want is from Trixie Cosmetics, there's these gel liners like in a pot, and there's black, brown, and white, and the trio has been sold out for like a few months. Like ever since I started looking at it and wanting to buy it, it's been sold out. I think I can buy the black and brown, but not the white. And honestly, the white's the one I want the most. So I'm just waiting for that to get back in stock, and then I think I'll buy that and test them both out. That will be really fun to have like a really, really good white liner that I can really like like make it really, really precise. We now have the eyeshadow, the white liner, and I'm gonna go in with black liner. This is NYX Epic Ink Liner Waterproof. I think this liner, I think I just keep purchasing this exact liner over and over again because it just works so well, and it's not an expensive liner. I really like, you know, it's like the brush tip pen. So I think the best technique with this is like, you don't really need to draw a line. I more just like place it and do little strokes, you know, repeatedly to create the shape I want. So I'm basically just lining all of my top line. And then what I like about doing my makeup like this is that I don't make the wing start right at the corner here. I actually bring it down. Like I bring down the line past the corner of my eye, past the corner of my eye at the end. And then I make the wing between these two colors. And then I'll just thicken it up anywhere I want it. So what I like about extending the wing down is that it makes your eye look bigger, because now this line and these lines create the idea that this is where the corner of your eye is, and then the shadow makes it seem like your eye is bigger. So it makes your eye look bigger. If you stop the eyeliner here and then take the wing out here, I feel like it creates so much space here, so it kind of shifts your whole eye upwards instead of this way. It just opens the eye and makes it bigger. You see what I'm saying? You get it. I am so loyal to the Maybelline Rocket mascara. It's the blue one. I don't have one right now because I got this sample, the Benefit Fan Fest, and I really liked it, and it made my lashes look so thick and so great. So I bought the full size, and let me tell you, I don't know what the difference is between the two of them, but this full size one does not work the same. Like every time I use it, it like flakes and falls off my lashes so much. So I am using it just in my daily life, where it honestly doesn't matter if my mascara does that because I work from home. So if I want to put on makeup and some of it flakes off and falls, it really doesn't matter. But I do not like how it looks. I should have known that what I had was good. For lashes, I am also obsessed with these lashes from Shakoto called the Shaggy Flare, and my friend Stephanie, thank you Stephanie, introduced me to them, and I bought a couple, and just like, they're my absolute favorites. They're so dramatic, they're so voluminous, but they don't have much in the corner, so it really emphasizes the outside. And as you can imagine, you know, with all this emphasis with the color liner here, a lash going like this would be really gorgeous. And I do reuse them, but I just don't want to because they're so precious. Like, I don't want to use one right now, so I'm going to just put on a different lash that I have. This is what is this? This is e.l.f. I don't know, but these are supposed to be like anime style lashes, you know, they're kind of like spiky. I probably would not use these day to day, but for performance they're nice because they're thick and you can really see them. I've realized I don't like when lashes are coming too much into the corner of my eye. Like, I think it overwhelms my eye and looks kind of like crowded almost. So now for performance, or just like if I'm ever wearing a lash, I just like cut off the inner corner and like position the lash so that it extends beyond my eye. So here, this one I didn't trim it, I just put the lash starting here, and then now it sits like way past the corner of my eye. Like this is probably like half a centimeter past the corner of my eye. So by doing that, it does the same thing like I did with the liner, where it just extends that line and makes your eye look bigger. Other side. So same thing, I like put the lash starting like right there and then lay it down so it extends beyond the corner of my eye. Okay, you see that? You see that? And then I don't even know if this is the right thing to do, but I always put like a little bit of mascara on top of everything, and I think that just helps like everything blend together, and then also just makes the lash like stick to your lashes. Maybe that's dangerous, but I feel like it usually works okay. I don't always put on highlighter, but it does help, I think, to just like make certain areas pop. So I'll put on a little bit of this like shimmery pale highlighter everywhere. On the brow bone, and then maybe a little here just to lighten up the inner corners. Yes. That is the main part of the Yosakoi makeup. Like you can see the color here, the extended lines, the more neutral inner corner. I think that this does a really good job of creating the like feminine shapes that I like in eyeshadow and that I like to see on my face. And it also captures the Yosakoi spirit, you know, the kind of Soran style makeup with the like bold colors, the lines. If we were really going like full Soran, I would probably make these lines more distinct and like more white, you know, to make it more bold. But I think this does a good job of like having that dancer quality, that Yosakoi quality, but making it suited to my features. If we're really having fun, I'll put on some glitter. Honestly, you can't even really see from the stage that much, but it's fun. With this makeup, I have really been liking just doing a neutral lip. So just something like that, I don't know, doesn't take away from the eyes. This was one of the Sephora birthday gifts last year, so I think that's why I have this. I like it. It's very hydrating. I probably wouldn't use this to perform, but you get the idea. It's like a neutral lip. What I love wearing for performances is the Stila Stay All Day liquid lipstick. This stuff is so good. I think that it is drying because it is like a liquid lipstick, but it's not as drying as other lipsticks that I've tried. And this really does stay very well. Like you do get some bleeding a little bit over, you know, over the day. Like I'll probably have to clean it up a little bit at the end of the day, but for the most part it really stays put. And then my strategy for the top is I don't really put it outside of my lips on the edges. I stay true to my lip shape, but then at the top I put it outside of my lips to make them look bigger. I think that when I made the lipstick too big this way, it threw off the balance of my face, but making the lips look bigger this way balances everything out because I made my eyes look bigger this way. I have my lipstick, I have the glitter, I have the shadow, I have the Yosakoi spirit. I love doing makeup for Yosakoi. It's so fun to just experiment and try different things and also find like those little tricks that help things stay in place. I can't wait to try more. I want to try more Japanese makeup products that people recommend. I know there's a whole world of like stage makeup and performance makeup that I haven't even dipped my toes into. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any tips to help keep my makeup stay in place or anything you think I should try. And that's all. Thank you. Bye.